Sun, written by Steve Tomecek, illustrated by Carla Galembi. It happens every morning. You jump out of bed as you wipe the sleep. From your eyes, you see it. The sun rises in the sky and a new day begins. Even on cloudy days, the sun gives us light. What is the sun? Why is it so bright? What makes it rise and set and move across the sky? How big is the sun and how far is it from Earth? To find the answers, just follow the sun. The sun is a star. It's our star. When most people think about stars, they imagine those tiny points of light that could be seen only in the night sky. The reason our sun seems so big and bright and other stars look like little dots is that all the other stars are much farther away. The sun is the closest star to Earth. If you could travel far into space and get close to other stars, they would look as big as our sun does. 1 year, 40 years. 80 years, 110 years, 130 years, 150, 170 years. Even though the sun is our closest star, it's still very far away from Earth. The sun is about 93 million miles from Earth. If you had to drive 93 million miles at 60 miles per hour, it would take you almost 177 years. And that's without stopping to eat a snack. Because the sun is so far away from Earth, it doesn't look that big, but it's really gigantic. If you could measure the sun across its center, you would find that it's about 865,000 miles across. That means you could put 109 Earths across the face of the sun. The sun is not made of rock, as our Earth is. It is made of mostly two hot gases called hydrogen and helium. Helium gas is what makes balloons float. It is lighter than air. Hydrogen gas is also light, and if you bring hydrogen near a fire, it explodes. Even though it may look as if it's on fire, the sun is not burning. Explosions similar to nuclear bombs make the gases hot. The surface of the sun is more than 11,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 6,000 degrees Celsius. If Earth were any closer to the sun, it would be too hot for us to live here. Because the sun is so bright, you should never look right at it. Even if you're wearing sunglasses, you can hurt your eyes if you look at the sun for only a few seconds. When scientists study the sun, they don't usually look at it directly. First, they put special filters on their telescopes, and then they use cameras to take pictures of the sun. What they have found is that the surface of the sun is constantly changing. The sun is covered with dark and light patches. Scientists call the dark patches sunspots. They think that sunspots are a kind of giant storm. Sunspots look dark because they are cooler than the rest of the surface of the sun. The number of sunspots changes all the time. Sometimes the sun shoots large bursts of hot gas out into space. Scientists call these bursts solar flares. Solar flares can make radios, televisions, cell phones, and other electrical devices here on Earth act weird. Have you seen how the sun seems to move across the sky? The sun seems to rise in the east and set in the west. Many years ago, people thought that the sun traveled around Earth. They thought that Earth was at the center of everything. Today, we know that it's really Earth that is moving, not the sun. Even though we can't feel it, Earth is always spinning, just like a basketball on a player's finger. The line that the Earth spins around is called an axis. Because Earth is spinning on its axis, like a big ball, sometimes you are on the side that faces the sun, and sometimes you are on the side that faces away from the sun. When you're on the side that faces the sun's light shines on you. That's daytime. When the place you are on turns away from the sun, it gets dark. That's night. It takes the Earth about 24 hours to make one complete spin. That's a day. Besides spinning, our Earth is also moving around the sun in a slightly oval-shaped path called an orbit. It takes about 365 days, 1 year, for the Earth to make one trip or orbit around the sun. How many orbits old are you? The axis of Earth is tilted a bit. As our Earth orbits the sun, sometimes the place where you are is tilted toward the sun, and sometimes the place where you are tilted away from the sun. This is why the Earth has seasons. If the Earth weren't tilted on its orbit, the seasons would always be the same. During the summer, the sun appears to be high overhead in the sky. If you watch the clock, you'll see that there are more hours of daylight in the summer than any other season. Summer is warm because the part of the Earth you are on is tilted toward the sun. During the winter, the sun appears to be closer to the horizon. The horizon is where the sky and ground meet. There are fewer hours of daylight and it's colder in the winter because part of the Earth you are on is tilted away from the sun. Our Earth isn't the only planet that goes around the sun. 7 other planets do too. In order out from the sun, the planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The sun is at the center of our neighborhood in space. We call our neighborhood the solar system. Can you match each planet with its name? Without the sun, most things would not be able to live here on Earth. Without sunlight, plants could not grow. Without plants, people and other animals would have no food. The sun also keeps Earth warm. When sunlight hits the rocks on water on Earth's surface, some of the light is soaked up and turned into heat. Without this heat from the sun, all of the water on Earth would freeze. Our sun is truly special. It gives us light. It gives us life. The sun is the biggest thing in our solar system. You might even say that it's our star